Okay, it's Carrie Little. It is, it's sometime in the evening, close to, 5:30 Central Time on Friday, and I'm still in the office. Why? Because I need to blog, so you're gonna get the pre-blog update. So I'm writing a blog post on your past employment. So your past employment prepared you for real estate today. Now, I usually train a lot of new real estate agents. I talk to a lot of new real estate agents, and they're just like, here, I don't know what to do. So this is for you. And if you are someone that's trying to reinvent yourself, this is for you. So some of you may have only done real estate for a living. Okay, I get it. But for many of us, we used to have real jobs. And so I'll give you some history. So I've had a job I used to work for Sears. I used to work for TJ Maxx. I used to work for McDonald's Corporation, Real Estate East Coast Commercial Division. I used to work for NEC Technologies, where I worked in the AV department. Hey, thanks for joining me. I used to manage their demo equipment. So I can't really say TVs yet, because when I was at NEC Technologies in the demo department, they were just getting into plasma TVs. So yeah, we're moving real fast now. I used to work for the director for the AV division. I used to work for a company called Kassam Business Systems. That's where I learned my admin skills. I used to, let's see, what else did I do? I actually when I would go to church, there was a guy by the name of Bob Harrison, and he would come. He was a secular speaker, but he also spoke in the Christian arena. And I would sit in the back of the room and I'd go, I think I could do that. Now, there was a time when I used to volunteer and I would teach adults how to use technology, back when people were trying to figure out what the mouse was, people were trying to figure out what the internet was. So that was like easy to me. So I actually had the ability to work with technology very young. So huge benefit for me in the real estate industry. Some other things that I've done is when I worked for McDonald's, they pretty much paid for me to get my paralegal certification. I can sew. I could probably sew a wedding dress today. Too much work, but it can be done. And I'm a mother, so I can work in chaos. Now, why do I say this to real estate agents? Because every job you've had is prepared you for now. If you were a stay-at-home mom, you know how to clean, you know how to organize, you know how to pay bills, you are the CEO, you're the financial analyzer of your house, you know how to live just by going to Aldi. Trust me, been there, done it. I know how to clip coupons, I know how to save. So I worked for a big company for 16 years. Hi, Maggie. And working for a real estate company for 16 years. Now, all of that other stuff that I just mentioned, so for those of you that are just joining me, you get to go back and listen to all of my old jobs. When I tell you I've done it, I've done it. So when I used to work for TJ Maxx, here's the transferable skill, right, Gabriel? When I worked for TJ Maxx, if you haven't shopped in TJ Maxx, Ross, or Marshalls lately, depending on the store, junkie. I worked in the one in Melrose Park. Now it's in a different spot. Today, when I go to list a house, I can take those transferable skills into a closet any day. When I worked at Sears, let me tell you this one story. I worked in the juniors department, and there was a mom with her kids. And you know, when you work in customer service, you've seen it all. This kid spit on the floor at Sears, and I just kept my cool. Because that's what we do in real estate. We don't react. We don't freak out. I had some things that went on in my head. I was like, oh yeah, he needed a spanking, a whooping, whatever you want to call it. This was in the 80s that this happened. Don't start counting my age. When I worked for Kassam Business Systems as an admin, I went to Triton College. I learned how to type. I learned how to use Microsoft Excel. I learned how to use Microsoft Word. I learned accounts payable. I learned accounts receivable. And they were so gracious. This was all on we were barely getting to technology with Microsoft. I learned all of that. And now that I'm a business owner, look, I have no problem with payables, receivables, payroll, QuickBooks. Oh, there's another job I had before real estate. And I used to work for an Episcopal church. I showed them how they were supposed to manage their money, how you had to, after an offering, the money had to be put in the bank 24 hours later. And a lot of people don't know that in nonprofit. And so I did their bulletins for them. I did their accounting for them. I can't take all the credit for the accounting. My girlfriend fixed their QuickBooks, and then I balanced the books because that was too much work for me. So I did their accounting. I did payroll. So all of those skills as a now managing broker owner, it's easy for me. We're a paperless office. If you want to get paid from Caremark, all your stuff has to be in DocuSign transaction rooms. Now, if you're someone that's not techie, and I really like techie agents, I just hired an admin. We're working on a system where you can pay the admin, and my fee structure is different, so talk to me about that later if you have questions, where you can pay the admin to manage your transactions. She will write your contracts, and she'll set up your follow-up in LionDesk, because everybody gets LionDesk. So if you're new in the business, if you've worked in customer service, take that skill and transfer it to your clients. Network. I've worked with people from all over the world, so it's easy for me to go in and out of different circles. So if you are someone that is new in the business, take a moment, take inventory, write down everything you've done, and then how does that transfer to real estate? If you're going to be a new broker owner, how does that transfer to real estate? Now, I've already been audited, so if you haven't been and you call me, I can help you with that. I used to edit television, so that's why it's easy for me to do video, and it's easy for me to just talk on video. Now, you couldn't have paid me to do this back in high school. I probably would have fainted. But what I've learned is if you're someone that's trying to get into an industry, like for example, some of you know I speak all over the world. I have my first international convention next week, the International Stagers Convention. So if you want to get into the education arena, I need you to start teaching for free. I started teaching for free back in the early 2000s, not because I wanted to start speaking in real estate, but because I like to educate adults. And when the market tanked, it was an easy transition for me. So if you want to speak, anybody can teach. The good teachers are the ones that learn the content and make it relevant, and we're practitioners. So even today, I am helping Mark. He's sitting outside in the car. I'm like hoping he doesn't come in. I'm helping Mark. Really, I'm doing all the work. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and because I know how to use Excel and because I know how to track things, I'm tracking how business is working with Remind, the data analytics tool, the new one. So if you haven't had training on that, you need to training on that one. So I'm tracking when we're targeting buyers. I am only right now recruiting new agents. I don't want to let me take that back. It's not that I don't want a seasoned agent. I just don't want to have to fix you. But if you call me and we talk, it doesn't mean you can't come to me. I just am really targeting new agents because then I can help you work, I want to say the right way. So when I'm audited, I don't have to deal with your issues. So the admin's going to do that. I'm tracking buyers. I'm tracking how we're getting sellers. If Remind, the new predictive analytics tool, works, I am mailing to my subdivision based on sell score. So I didn't mail 190 properties. I'm now mailing to 89 properties based on sell score. If you don't know what that is, inbox me and we'll have a class. And so everything that I've done in the past has prepared me to do this business today. And yeah, cleaning the bathroom, because that's what we did at home. Even just now, I took a moment. I wiped down all of our tables in the office. Here, I'll kind of show you. Yeah, here comes Mark. Uh-oh. So today is awesome. I can't show you the office. There's Mark. So I wiped down all of the tables. I will eventually, we'll straighten that up. Let's get him off the screen before he says something. Wave to everybody. Oh, just like 500 people. Keeping hope alive. So everything you've done in business, any job you ever had in the past has prepared you for real estate. So here's your homework. Take a few minutes, write down every job you've had and what skill you learned from that job and transition it. If you are someone that's great with paperwork and you can't sell, So I worked in retail. I know how to sell. I can put together an outfit. I worked at Nordstrom once upon a time. I can if you come in, when I worked at Nordstrom in Oak Brook. Most people came in during the holidays and they were like throwing out cash. You were not gonna buy earrings. You were gonna buy earrings, a necklace, and probably a ring. You were getting a full set. And I would sit there and I'd ask you about your wife to find out what she likes, and I could put it together. So everything I've done, I can sell because I listen. So if you've worked in sales, great. But if you haven't and you know how to use this thing, team up with someone and help them manage their business. So it doesn't mean you have to be the salesperson, right, Mark? Is that why I do all your work for you?
You do all my work for me because
Come over here. Just say, come on. Oh, that was a good fix. Lean in. So I do all your paperwork. Come down.
I'm too tall, Kara. You know I'm like 6 feet.
He's like 5'3". See? Oh, if you were a social worker, Maggie, you're great for real estate because we fix everybody's problems, don't they? Cannot see you.
Can you raise your thing up?
No, I gotta hurry up because I'm
Does
using
anybody want to buy a house?
These are all real estate agents. We're only in a group, so none of them want to buy a house.
They might.
Okay, anyway, so come down.
Okay, I have to sit. My knees are not good, okay?
I thought you were 27.
I am. That don't mean my knees are good.
So what are your past jobs? Keep it clean, legal jobs. You worked for Xerox? So you're not a copy.
That's not nice. And I worked with Subway.
And he's worked with special needs adults?
Yes, I was actually...
you owned your own company, right?
Yeah, no, Subway. I was actually a sandwich artist.
But you own them and you were a sandwich artist?
Yes, I did both. I cooked, I cleaned, I made sandwiches. I did it all.
He even had to work with employees to help them. I don't even know if you could say that.
Welcome to Subway. May I take your order, please? And you know, back then, they didn't have all this different variety in bread. They only had white wheat and the rounds.
That was it.
That was it.
So he knows how to work with adults with that. It wasn't adult.
Mentally challenged.
Is that what it was called?
Yes.
Right. So he would take them to work.
They were able to do things that were repetitive. Yeah.
So has that transitioned into real estate?
That's what working with people that could, never mind. But yeah.
We'll keep that safe. So anyway, go back and watch the replay. I'm Carrie Little. That's Mark.
No, you gotta say my full name. I'm Mark Little with Caremark Realty. You have to give a shout out to your company. See, I learned that in training.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
So check out the blog post. I'll probably post it tomorrow because I'm behind because I'm trying to blog every single week. Join me, smartgirlmedia.com. Bye. Thanks for watching.